Okay, we're back on the blue car. If you saw in the last video, we got it running, all that stuff. Now we're fixing to work on the brakes. Master cylinder is bad, we know of. I think the rest of it's in pretty good shape. So we're gonna put a new master cylinder on. We're gonna work on lowering it. Like we said in the last video, the front needed to come down at least 4 inches, the back a couple inches. So we're gonna work on that in this video and driving it. So by the end of this video, we hope you see it pull out of the shop. Okay, right here, Drake's checking to make sure the inner fender is good. Not really. We're fixing to start lowering the front. So we've took out the shock and pointed that spring in there, hand model. There is the spring. And we're gonna cut maybe one off of it, you think?
Yeah, we're gonna cut one off.
We're gonna cut one off of it. So we got our little tool in there and up here that's gonna collapse the spring. We're gonna cut one coil off. We're gonna put it back in place, stick a tire on, and watch that baby be like money. Okay, if you can see, we got a spring pulled away from the perch. Now we're fixing to go right above the other spot and cut it where the coil ends. Get a little closer here to show you. See where this coil ends back here, the bottom of it? We're gonna go right up above it on this next coil. And that'll cut this whole bottom coil off, drop the bottom just a little bit. Okay, we're going back on the wheel. I'm gonna let her down, see what it looks like. Okay, like I said, when we let her down, we're gonna let her down. I hope she settles some. Did it change any? Changed a little bit, but we fixed to do a measurement.
I'm saying it was what, 4 inches on this side?
Yeah. 4 inches over.
And we're down to 3.5.
No, or what was you measuring to?
To that ridge or two on the tire.
That ridge.
Yeah. It's about 3.5 now.
So we done a 1/2 inch for the whole coil.
Of course, you gotta think. You gotta take in consideration once you cut this other one, because this is gonna keep it lifted up some.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right there is where it needs to be, just about.
I mean, I ain't saying it's gonna keep it up. We can whack this off and it's gonna drop 2 more inches, but
Yeah.
it may be like an inch in reality once we cut a coil off this side.
Yeah, and we're
Like
still.
I said, that's gonna keep it picked up some.
So I think we need to go one more coil on this side, don't you?
It may have been dropped about 3 inches.
Yeah, and like I said, we only want a 1/2 inch. If that's an inch, it may
Well,
need.
in all honesty, to be where I would want it to be, it needs to drop 4 inches.
Yeah.
'Cause I would want it right. I'd want the fender right here myself.
Yeah. That's what I think here. Hold it and I'll push it down. Maybe a nose dive when I push it down.
Yeah. See, that's a lot closer. Still, I'd like to see it
Even more than that.
a little bit more than that, but that's a lot more like it needs to be.
I think we need to go down. I think we'll need at least a couple more coils. Let us cipher. All right, so we're back up and punting. We're fixing to take another coil off and see what happens. We're going at a little different angle this time, so maybe it won't pop real loud. We ain't gonna watch all this cutting. Oh, we might could. bad thing about cutting with the air one versus that electric one. That electric would go right through it. The air would take forever. There it is. Now we'll put her back in place and let her down again. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. I hear the music. Boom, 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 boom. That's where we need to be. And like I said, I believe that. I don't know. I still keep wanting that back to be. That back just needs more tire. You know what?
Yeah, but we couldn't get it tall.
Yeah, I know. We couldn't get no more tire, but it sure is. It looked like it actually needs to be a little wider even. You know what? And that's unusual for one of these. But that front's where it's at now. All right, time to do the next. Okay, we got our spring compressor in. If y'all can hear me over the sander. We fixed to compress this spring so we can cut the coil off like we did the other side. So we're fixing to get it pulled up and go from there. We got her cut. Now we just got to spin it out of here. I guess we can spin it out of here. Or is it just going to keep going round and around? I guess we're going to have to cut it again just so we can get it out of there now. Because I can't get it turned to come out of there. Alright, we'll cut it again. Nope, we was able to spin it out of there. Now let's let the pressure back off. Boy, it looks like a long way to go. Alrighty, let's see. This side's higher.
Yeah.
Keep settling though.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too low. Let's take a look and see. For all you people earlier in the video saying, you cut too much, you cut too much. Okay, y'all know what you're talking about. We got another set. Cutting a little less off of. Yep, she was low. Alrighty, here we go, everybody. So much for slowly.
Third time's the charm.
12th set of springs. I hope you push on it, it goes down. Because right now it looks just like where we started. I don't understand. Guess we'll let it sit a little while.
It's amazing how one
does that,
does nothing,
and two sets it flat on there. I don't know if we need to cut a half off or what. Back up, punt. Okay, so here we are. One is not enough, and two is way too much. So about all we can do now is start a quarter at a time. Cut a quarter off, let it down, see what happens, go from there. Okay, we got the master cylinder on. We bench bled it, brought it over here, put it on, got the lines hooked up. So now we're gonna slide up under it. I'll get Joey inside. He's gonna pump the brakes for me, and I'll slide up under it, and we're gonna start at the back corner, furthest from the master cylinder. We'll bleed it. We'll move to this end, bleed it. We'll move to the front right here, bleed it. Move to this front, bleed it. And then if everything still feels a little spongy, we'll bleed the master cylinder a time or two. But it should be bled out because, like I said, I bench bled it on the vise before we even put it on. So that's where we're at, and let's get the brakes bled. All right, we're up here under here bleeding the brakes on our Mustang. You got them pumped up, Joey?
Yep.
Hold them.
His legs ain't strong enough to pump them up.
You holding them?
Yep.
You gotta say that.
I'm holding them.
Brake bleeding 101. Hear that air? Pump them up. All right, hold them. Well, that stuff looks rough. We're going to have to pump all that out of there. Stay tuned. Okay, we got our rear brakes bled. Now we're gonna go to the front. See if I can see them in here without. Alright, we're gonna bleed them, see if there's any air in them. I can see the air coming out right there. Alright, mash it down slow and hold it. Okay, so we got it where we think we want it. So now we're gonna put the shocks on and let it down, and we'll show everybody where it's at. I don't know if you can see them over there. We've got a pile of springs. Hey, well, what can we say? That's the part you don't see on a lot of YouTubes is the mess ups. But anyway, let's get the shocks on. We'll get them mounted, let it down, show you what it looks like. Okay, here it is. We want it to go down a little lower, but it just come off a jack, so we think it's gonna settle a little bit more, so it should be lower at its final resting place, I guess you call it. But let me just show you here. That's what's left over. 2 sets of springs, 5,000 cuts later. That's all the stuff they don't show you on YouTube, the trial and error. Those 2 we ended up cutting too far, and it set flat on the tires. We put 2 more in it, cut them once, wasn't enough, cut them a little more, had this side a little lower than the other side, cut about that much more off the last one, and here's where we're at. And like I said, I think after it sets more, it's gonna settle more, but that's got it lowered right there. That's where we're gonna leave it, and it looks a lot better than it did, so we're going with that. That's gonna do it for this video. I think it's the video number 4. We got it lowered, got the brakes working, master cylinder replaced, brakes bled. It's cranking, running. We was wanting to drive it in this video, but it took so long doing the lower, and this is where we're at. So next video, battery mounted, hood mounted, start getting it together, getting it cleaned up, and driving it. 256 garage out.